If you've ever walked through a devastating, life-altering season, then you know how rare it is to find someone who has the courage and the stamina to stay, to go the distance, because grief can be very raw. When you're in pain, sometimes the things that come to the surface are often very unfamiliar to you. The expression of authentic pain can be very hard for someone else to hold that space for the griever. With that in mind, it's understandable why people don't stay, but it does not make it any easier because it's times like this when grievers need to know that people care. Having a consistent connection is life giving, especially in the times when the griever feels like no life is left in them. We all try to show up at the time of the initial impact when we hear the devastating news, but soon the griever's circle, that inner circle, gets smaller and smaller, and sometimes only one person is left. And I would imagine there are plenty of times when no one stays. And through my podcast, I've learned so many things about grief. And this one bit of insight is very intriguing to me. And I've heard it over and over again. Sometimes the one person you thought would stay doesn't, and someone you never imagined would think to stay does. So here are some reasons why people do not or cannot stay to contend with the griever's pain. And it has nothing to do with the griever. And I just share a few reasons or examples that either I can personally relate to, it's what I experienced when my husband passed, or it's what I've heard through talking with people who are grieving over their various losses. Number one, people are naturally drawn back into their own demanding life and the needs of their family. It's common sense that they have roles and responsibilities and people looking to them to handle things. So it's a natural thing for them to go back into that. Their life didn't change, but of course, it still doesn't make it any easier for the griever. Number two, your grief makes people uncomfortable. Grief, again, can be very raw, and people are just not comfortable with that level of expression. The feeling of helplessness drives them away. It's the knowing that they can't change your circumstance. They feel like they really can't help as much as they want to. It doesn't seem like anything they say or anything they do makes a difference, and they feel helpless. And that's a terrible feeling. You see your friends suffering, but you cannot help them. And number four, some people have never experienced the type of loss you have experienced or the depth of pain in the specific way that you process pain. And they simply are unable to relate. And in this context, there are times when some of the most hurtful things are said. As an example, they feel the brokenhearted has grieved long enough. So people have their own opinions on what it looks like to grieve. And that's when they will say things that will make them feel better. And I get it. I've said things now that I'll never say again. So I often wonder though when that happens if it's because they never want to know that type of pain so they won't engage it. But if you can relate to any of these examples, Sealed with a Hug removes all of these obstacles. And number one, it takes you from feeling helpless to being helpful by providing consistent encouragement and hope. Number two, it allows you to be the one who stays even though you have a demanding life. Number three, Sealed with a Hug removes the uncomfortable feeling of grief, because it puts a little bit of distance between that overwhelm, and yet you're still sharing your heart for the griever. And even if someone cannot relate to a griever's level of pain and suffering, the monthly subscription box enables them to still show up in a compassionate way for the griever. So if you want more information, visit sealedwithahug.com or listen to some more informational videos here on YouTube. Thanks for your interest. Have a great day.